Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm also known as the geeky ballerina. My husband coined the term because it fits and I just ran with it. Today we're going to talk about the difference between vocabulary and technique. The vocabulary is what you're doing and the technique is how you're doing it. Or if you like to bake, which I do, the vocabulary is the outcome, the cake, the bread, the pie. The technique are the ingredients. It's really easy to get caught up on your vocabulary. That's what the students see. They see it in their own class. They see it in the class before that they watch. They see it on their social media. That's what their parents see. Most parents don't have a deep ballet education, so they see the vocabulary, but they don't really see the improvement in the technique. So if you're doing a single pirouette in a recital one year and then you do a single pirouette in the recital the next year, you might need to do some parent education. It's kind of like the difference between using lemon zest and lemon flavoring. If you eat a lot of lemon cake, you can taste the difference. But if you have lemon cake once a year, you're not going to know. And because the feedback that you as a teacher most often get is coming from your students, it's coming from the parents that you're working with, it can be really easy to focus on vocabulary. But if you want a great outcome, if you want a delicious cupcake, you need to know the ingredients that go into it. So, for example, if you are trying to increase your students' technique and clarity and movement in their pirouettes, don't spend 8 minutes at the bar on dégagé. Dégagé is not going to help you. Do they need a stronger releve? Do you need a lot of releve exercises? Do they need help getting their toe where it belongs? Do you need to spend more time balancing in retiré? Do they need to practice getting the pathway of floor to knee very quickly? That would be a lot of releves. Are their arms weird in their turns? That would be a lot of port-de-bras. Do they need help spotting? What are the ingredients in what you're trying to do? And that's where your class should be focusing. I'm not saying skip dégagés, but maybe don't lose your mind over it. It takes work to break down the vocabulary into its itty bitty little ingredients. How often do you go to a bakery and get a delicious something and then think, how do I want to make this at home? I've done it once. It was very successful. I'm very proud of myself, but it wasn't recently. I don't do it very often. I do it at work all the time. When you're watching your students, you need to practice and get better at thinking, what are the ingredients? What is the technique going into this? Because that's what you need to work on. If you work on the technique, the vocabulary will automatically get better. One of the things that can also throw people off is if all you have is a vocabulary list instead of a genuine curriculum, that doesn't help you so much. A curriculum is more than just a vocabulary list. It includes some of the whys. It includes some of the what are we looking for in the technique. It includes what are the guidelines for this level. It's not an in-depth teacher training. It's not equal to 20 years of teaching experience. If you find a curriculum that contains all the knowledge of 20 years of teaching experience, will you please comment below and let me know, because I want to get my hands on that. A vocabulary list is just the steps. A curriculum includes some of the whys and some of the hows and some of the this is what we should be looking for. It helps support you as you grow as a teacher. And do make sure that you're taking a little bit of time in class to explain the why behind some of your combinations. The ones that maybe feel a little bit more like drills, the ones where you're like, I know you're not having fun, but I know you're getting better. Explain to your students why you are doing this. You're going to get better class engagement. Everybody is more willing to do hard work if they know what the payoff is. B, your students are going to get better at noticing good technique in themselves and in other dancers. So if you're at a competition studio, how many times have you been at a competition and your students watched a piece and were like, that was amazing, but they couldn't articulate why? It's because they don't know what makes up technique. They don't know what makes up gorgeous technique. And that's what's really getting the placement and the beautiful shapes and the beautiful transitions. And that's what also giving the dancers the freedom to explore all these different elements of artistry. You need the ingredients. You need good ingredients so that you can bake a good cake, so that you can decorate it however you want. But it always starts with the ingredients. It always starts with the technique. And students need and deserve to understand that. Good ballet training is kind of most definitely my happy place. So if you want to hang out with me and talk more about why we do things, how to do things, what is the purpose of what we're doing, my website is where I keep almost all of that stuff. I have all kinds of teaching resources there. I have a blog. Come hang out with me. It's geekyballerina.com. I love teaching ballet, and I really hope you love teaching it too.